Wow. Tragic day at Carnival's new private resort. We also have a cruise ship being told they can't go somewhere because of a storm. And we've got a mom that feels discriminated by Royal Caribbean. That, plus a whole lot more on today's episode. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loco. Welcome to the cruise show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's everything going on in cruising. It's for your face on a Sunday the 17th of August, 2025. And let's just get it out of the way. The horrible story coming from Carnival Cruise Line's newly opened Celebration Key, their private island resort experience, where in two separate incidents just a couple days ago, on Friday, August the 15th, we've had two cruise passengers pass away from drowning. The first event involved a 79-year-old man who was found unresponsive in the waters just before noon, the waters around Celebration Key. He was brought to shore by lifeguards, performed CPR, but he passed away. And then just a couple hours later at 2:30 p.m., an unresponsive 74-year-old woman was found in the swimming pool there on Celebration Key, and she also passed away. Carnival did issue a statement acknowledging that there were two water emergencies involving guests that were traveling on two different ships that happened at Celebration Key on Grand Bahama Islands. In their statement, they said Carnival lifeguards and medical teams working at the resort responded to both incidents, one occurring in the lagoon and the other one occurring at the beach. Local authorities there, the Bahamian Police Force, are investigating the incident. And Celebration Key has only been open about a month, and this is just a huge tragedy, Now, in better news, and gosh, everything's got to be better news than that, Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas is now loaded up with paying passengers. They've been doing some sailings with influencers and travel agents and the whole lot of people, running the ship through its paces. And now we have paying passengers on the very first cruise. It left yesterday on August the 16th, 2025. Going to be a 4-day event. And then she's going to come to Port Canaveral again on August the 20th, where I'm going to get on that ship. I'm so excited. I haven't been on an Icon class ship, and I'm very excited to be on the Star of the Seas. There was some controversy over the past week about that, August the 20th sailing. That was the sailing where Diana Ross was going to come on and officially name the ship, be the godmother, that kind of thing, but she had to back out. She can no longer be the godmother, and there was a couple days of speculation as to whether or not they could get a godmother for the 20th sailing. Well, they have. They have tapped astronaut Kelly Gerardi to be the godmother, which is a great choice because it's Star of the Seas, and certainly this is a impeccable, incredible woman who has been to the stars, and she's just one of those explorer-type people, very popular on social media, and I think she'll be a great representation for Star of the Seas. So I'm looking forward to. I'm not sure how. I don't know what the naming ceremony will be like, but I'm definitely going to try to catch it for everybody. But Star of the Seas on the seas with its very first sailing, and excited to be on the world's largest cruise ship in just a few days. Now, I do want to swing back and talk about a story that's been brewing over the last few days. We first talked about it when we had Tropical Storm Erin out there in the East Atlantic. That the folks that look at these kind of things are saying this looks like it could turn into something. Well, turn into something it did. Hurricane Erin is now a Category 5 hurricane, and it's in the Southern Caribbean, and it's still making its way a little bit to the west. Most of the models and those who do the predictions are saying that this thing is going to turn north. And fortunately for folks in Florida, that's good news. But unfortunately for people that are north in the Atlantic, it's bad news, and particularly the island of Bermuda, popular cruise destination. All the way last week, we had Royal Caribbean altering the itinerary of one of its cruise ships, saying that it was going to avoid Bermuda altogether and just come south. Well, now we have another cruise ship that is doing the same thing. This time it is the Carnival Sunshine, scheduled to leave from Norfolk, Virginia on a 6-night cruise to Bermuda. It will no longer do that. Instead of going to Bermuda, it will now sail south to the Bahamas and go to Celebration Key. It's hurricane season. Just a big alert out there for anybody that's new to cruising in the months of June, July, August, September, October, and November. There's a good chance that your cruise could be changed up. Cruises aren't going to stop cruising. Being on a cruise ship is pretty safe during hurricane season because most of the time you don't go into the storm, you go away from the storm. But because of that, sometimes going away from the storm means you go to different places. So all these Bermuda sailings being impacted by Hurricane Erin. And that's the way it goes. Hopefully, if you are on the Sunshine, you're not too bummed out about missing Bermuda and going to Celebration Key. But again, that's what happens when you risk it during hurricane season. I still got to tell you the princess story, and then I got to tell you about this mom that is upset at Royal Caribbean. But Powerball, do you play the lottery? Powerball was worth over $500 million yesterday on Saturday, and I know a lot of people that ended up buying lottery tickets, and I didn't buy a lottery ticket. I just checked, though. Nobody won the Powerball, so it's going to be $600 million on Monday. I guess there's another drawing on Monday. I don't really know how the lottery works, but I have bought Powerball tickets in the past, and I always love that 24 hours before the drawing so that you can fantasize about what you would do with the money. And we had a pretty big round robin conversation. Yesterday was National Thrifting Day. So I went with my brother-in-law and my daughter and some other people. We went to the thrift stores. We had a really good conversation about what would you do with the money. And then we had folks over last night. What would you do with the money? And it boiled down to people would either, what would you do first is the idea. Would you do something selfishly for yourself, or would you do something for others before you did something for yourself? And I might have been the only one that, I'm not saying anybody else is being dishonest, but I feel like if all of a sudden I got a bank transfer for like $200 million, I feel like I would immediately do something for myself and then do something for others. But then my brother-in-law, Steve, he had the best answer to the dilemma. He said he would, everybody that he was going to give money to, he would give them their money first and then tell them to never call him again, which I thought was, obviously I think he's a little tongue-in-cheek on that. But an interesting question for the comments today. If you were to win, if you woke up tomorrow and you legitimately had a transfer of $200 million into your bank account, which you got to diversify that because the FDIC is not going to insure all that. But boy, we sidetracked there. If you had $200 million in your bank account tomorrow, are you doing something for yourself selfishly first, or are you doing something for others first? Leave a comment below. Okay, let's talk about a move that I like Princess is making. They have a partnership with the very famous out in Los Angeles Magic Castle. And this experience led to Spellbound, which is an experience on the Sun Princess. It's a dinner and drink and magic experience. You go to dinner, then you go into this hidden speakeasy where you can get interesting cocktails and you can see some magic shows. And it's cool. I got to do it during the press preview last year, and we didn't have the dinner part, but we had the drinks and the magic, and it was fantastic. But then once I got off the press preview, I went back in December and we were going to do it again, Jenny B and I, but it was $150 per person for dinner, drinks, and magic. And I didn't necessarily feel like it was worth that. And so we decided not to do it. And the question was, would the partnership continue on the new Star Princess? And the answer to that is yes. But the brain trust over there at Princess is smartly tweaking the experience to make it less expensive, and I think even better. So now they've dropped the dinner, which I think is good because I don't think the dinner was anything special. That's what I heard. I don't think the dinner was anything special. And they've also dropped the price by $100, which was fantastic. So now you can go and you can get these really funky cocktails. You get 2 cocktails and a magic show for $49, and then you get to stay in the speakeasy during that whole time, which the speakeasy environment is really what makes the experience. So a big change coming on the Star Princess for the Spellbound experience. It's going to cost less and no dinner, but you're still going to have a pretty cool time in the speakeasy. So I like the change. I like it when cruise lines learn something from one cruise ship to the next, and I think they definitely learned something about Spellbound. I can't wait to see this. I'm supposed to be on Star Princess in November to check it out, and then I have a week-long deal in December with the family, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, let's talk about a Royal Caribbean cruiser that is claiming discrimination. They've taken to social media to complain about mistreatment, and it begs the question, is this person, do they have a valid complaint? Or are they just being entitled? Let me read this post that was posted on the Utopia of the Seas Facebook page for a future sailing. This person seems exasperated. I'm assuming they just had a bad experience. They said, can you believe this? I showed up at Port Canaveral with my baby, with my toddler. Obviously, I am carrying the future of humanity in my arms. And they had the audacity to make me wait in line like some regular peasant. I politely asked if I could skip ahead because obviously traveling with small children is a full contact sport and I deserve special treatment. And you know what they said? No. Like, excuse me, do you not understand the sacrifices of motherhood? I mean, have they ever actually been a mom, holding a baby, entertaining a toddler, hauling luggage, balancing snacks, sippy cups, and the emotional well-being of tiny humans? Clearly not. I should literally get a red carpet to walk onto the ship. Honestly, this is discrimination against hardworking moms everywhere. The nerve. I will be contacting corporate. Someone has to pay for this injustice. I don't know, man. Reading this comment, I feel like it's so well crafted with the language that this has to be a bit, right? Is somebody doing a bit here just to rile up the folks in social media? And look, they got roasted in the comments of this social media here. People are, saying, no, you're the entitled one. I think if you strip away all the hyperbole here, I think I think it really does beg an interesting question. It is hard to wrangle babies and toddlers. Do you think that people that are traveling with kids, do you think they should get some sort of priority, some sort of easy access onto the cruise ship? And do you think other people should have to wait so that they can have that easy access? Or are you of the opinion that, hey, look, man, you chose to have the babies. You chose to bring them on a cruise. You got to wait in line like everybody else. It's an interesting question. Do you think this post is even real? I don't think this post is real. I would love to hear your feedback on that. Man, it is hard to craft an energetic and fun show when the news on the front end is so bad. But yeah, that's everything going on in cruising. If you enjoyed the show, if you got any kind of entertainment out of it, beyond the sadness, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'd love to entertain you some more, and you can help me out by hitting the subscribe if you find that to be a fair trade. It doesn't cost anything. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Happy Sunday, everybody. And now there's really certainly nothing left to do but dance. Get up. Get up.